Day number 7 of Chicago Bears training camps in the books, and let's talk about what happened. What's going on, guys? I'm back with another Chicago Bears training camp update video, which I'll be doing every single day at camp this year. So if you guys want my thoughts, my reactions, my opinions on what happened at camp every single day, definitely be sure to subscribe to my channel. It's already been 7 days at camp, which is crazy to think about. I feel like it just started a few days ago, but time is moving by super fast. Before you know it, the season is going to be here, and the first preseason game is only 10 days away against the Titans on August 12th. So that game is going to be a lot of fun to watch. I can't wait for that, to see real football being played. Even though it's only preseason, okay, it's going to be fun to watch. Some of the backups get a chance to play. Some of the starters also get chances to play. I'm sure that Eberflus is going to play starters at least, some portions of each game, right? So cannot wait for that game. The Hall of Fame game, by the way, is tomorrow, I believe, between the Browns and the Jets, which I'm probably going to be watching that game too, even though I don't give a shit about the Browns or the Jets, just because I'm craving football, man. I mean, it's the time of year where I'm ready for football to start, for games to actually start, and it's almost here, guys. Hang in there. But talking about practice today, let's go over what happened, okay? And it was a great day out of the Chicago Bears defense, in contrast to yesterday, because yesterday the offense completely took over the practice and had a great day of practice. But today, it seemed like the defense had the offense's numbers. So I'll read a bunch of reports, and they were basically all positive towards the defense and negative towards Justin Fields and the offense. So according to Nicholas Moriano, he said that 7-on-7s for the starting offense was bad. Robert Tonyan had a pass bounce off his hands that was intercepted by Tarek Stevenson. Next play, high ball from Fields to Claypool and intercepted by Jaquan Brisker. Jalen Johnson with the PBU versus DJ Moore. Missed throw to Darnell Mooney. So by the looks of it, okay, a terrible session from Justin Fields in the starting offense in 7-on-7s. But on the flip side, the defense was making plays happen the entire session, okay? It seemed like they got an interception. Tarek Stevenson, the rookie, got a pick, which I love to see. Jalen Johnson had a PBU against a receiver that good in DJ Moore. It seems like Justin Fields was pretty inaccurate, pretty off today, so not good play by the quarterback, but pretty good play by the defense there. Going to the next story. So, again, talking about Justin Fields. So, not a good stretch of 7-on-7s for Justin Fields. He's picked off again. This time a high throw, and Jaquan Brisker gets the INT, and then, again, Justin Fields' pass goes, I think that's actually the same play I already talked about, so don't want to double count the interception, but he had one interception to Tarek Stevenson and one to Jaquan Brisker in the 7-on-7 session, which, again, not good from Fields, but good out of our defense, which I love to see, because so far in camp, our defense has not been stepping up nearly as much as the offense has. So if you ask me if I'm worried about this day out of Justin Fields, no, I'm definitely not, because it's only one day of practice. You're allowed to have a bad day of practice, and so far in camp, Justin Fields and the Bears offense have been kicking the defense's ass, so it's about damn time they get their W's as well. Another play by the defense, so Kyler Gordon also picked off Justin Fields. I guess Fields threw 3 picks then today. Terrible day out of Justin Fields, but stepped right in front of the throw intended for Velus Jones. There were a bunch of sacks today too, it seemed like. So according to Greg Braggs, he said that Terrell Lewis had a sack on Justin Fields as they go back to final 11-on-11s. Play blown dead. Lewis got around the corner on right and fast. And that's a little bit concerning. Obviously it's only one play of practice. I don't want to overreact to just one play of every practice. But Darnell Wright's main weakness in college football was actually going up against speedier, finesse types of rushers, which, in college, he was a heavier weight. He was 300 whatever pounds. He's lost a lot of weight since then. So he's going to be hopefully quicker and faster on his feet. But he's still probably, sometimes going to struggle against these speedy guys, because he doesn't have necessarily that speed element to his game the way that maybe other tackles have. He's great with power. He's not going to get bull rushed whatsoever probably. But against speed, sometimes Darnell Wright can lose. So keep an eye on that during his rookie season to see if he can get better there. But regardless, not a good day out of the Bears offensive line as well. I saw a bunch of reports about Fields getting sacked. Some of them he probably held onto the football, maybe too long, but the offensive line also did struggle today, it did seem like. Another report from Courtney Cronin, she said that Bears defense turns up the heat in the 2-minute drill. Active session off the edge for Robinson and Gibson. Incomplete pass to Velus Jones on the sideline resulted in a shoving match, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And the next play results in PBU. Brisker yells, "Stop playing with me," running by the offensive coaches. So you can tell, guys, great day out of the Chicago Bears defense and terrible day out of the Bears offense. But again, you have to keep things in perspective. So far in camp, it's been the opposite. So if we're counting, the offense still has won the majority of days. We'll see if the defense can, string together multiple good performances now in a row. They're off tomorrow, but when they come back on Friday, if the defense wins the day again by a lot, then we could talk about something. But still, I'm not necessarily worried that much that the offense lost today and lost badly, because every quarterback, every offense is allowed to have a bad day of practice. But I do love the defense finally stepping up. So in the post-practice presser, Justin Fields also talked about this. He said that he felt the offense came out a little bit flat today, gives credit to the defense for winning the day. The biggest thing we need to do is be more consistent. Every little win we have on the field, we need to have energy about it. And he's accurate, man. I mean, they were terrible today in terms of energy given, in terms of their play today, and they should be better going forward. Otherwise we have problems. But again, I'm not worried right now because it's only been one terrible day of practice. They've had a couple other down days, but nothing as bad as today where the defense clearly won. So I'm allowing that today, and even going forward, obviously they're going to have some bad days of practice, but Fields and the offense do have to be better in future practices, and I'm sure they will, because so far they have been a lot better. But going to the next story, I do want to talk about one player in particular on the defense, and that's Kyler Gordon, because man, Kyler Gordon had himself a day today at practice. I already talked about the interception on Justin Fields, in which he jumped up super high. I'll put the video on the screen right now, but you guys can see a jumping INT by Kyler Gordon. And this guy has hops, man. I mean, I forgot what his vertical was during the combine. I remember it was like super astronomically high, like one of the highest of all time, I think, for any quarterback. So he can jump, he can get up there, and you can see on this play, he jumped and got the interception against, Velus Jones, covering him. And I love the whole Spider-Man thing that Kyler does as well. I mean, it fits him perfectly. Both of them can jump super high. They can sling their webs. Kyler sounds like Spider, so perfect superhero comparison for Kyler Gordon. He also wore a Spider-Man mask, I think, a few days ago to, the interview. So love this whole thing Kyler has going on with Spider-Man. But talking about his play, man, this guy also made some other plays too. So according to Nicholas Moriano, he said that Kyler Gordon has blown up 2 back-to-back plays. He had a diving tackle and brought down Treston Ebner. Then in the next play, Gordon threw off Robert Tonyan and would have had a sack on Justin Fields. Clearly already adjusting to life working on the inside at nickel, and I love it, man. I mean, Kyler Gordon is the type of cornerback that I feel like fits perfectly at nickel, because he has that physicality, that scrappiness, the tackling ability to play on the inside against guys that are going to be scrappy as well, working in the slide. The ability to blitz as well on like a DB blitz. I mean, the possibilities are endless for how the Bears could be using Kyler Gordon. He could be racking up a bunch of stats from having run support tackles, blitzing, getting sacks, getting interceptions, playing good coverage as well. I mean, I'm so excited for the season he's about to have, because I think it's going to be a pretty damn good one. Last year, he did get a lot better as the season progressed. He was pretty terrible at the beginning of his career, but then he settled down, got more comfortable, and started learning how to play cornerback in the NFL. And going into year 2 with the full offseason, watch out for what he could in this defense. It could be a promising secondary with guys like Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker, 2 second-round picks from last year that could be primed for breakout seasons this year. But going to the next story of the day, I do want to talk about a pick also from last year, Velus Jones. Not for a good reason, but because he got into a fight today at practice. And according to Pat the designer, so he said that punches were thrown by Velus Jones at Bears camp after a hard hit and celebration from Jaquan Brisker after a past breakup. Now, I couldn't find video of this, unfortunately, on Twitter, which I wish I could just to show you guys, but other reports were saying it was more of like shoving than actual punches being thrown. So I kind of tend to believe the latter, because I think if Velus Jones actually punched anybody through punches, then he would have been thrown out of practice for the day, and the Bears coaches probably would have talked about it, but I don't think they talked about it, according to my knowledge today, in the post-practice interviews. And no media member, I think, asked about that either. So definitely not a big deal whatsoever. I mean, every single training camp, every single football practice in general, even like high school practice, there's always fights going on all the time. I mean, it's a brutal, violent sport, so eventually you're going to get pissed at your teammates when you're out in the in the sun when it's like 85, 90, right? So it's not a big deal at all. Velus Jones is just, he's fighting for his job obviously this year. He's not even guaranteed a roster spot, so I'm sure that he's taking everything seriously, and he's trying to play the best he possibly can. He's probably frustrated that today the defense got the better out of the offense, but if you don't want to have that happen, just go play better the next day instead of instead of fighting. But I'm not going to be mad at fighting because fighting happens every single year at practice with every single team most of the time. But finally, going to the last story of the day. I didn't have too many updates from today, but last story is, again, another offensive line injury. So Tevin Jenkins unfortunately left the field with a trainer and seems to be hurt. Now, I'm not sure about the severity of this injury because the Bears have not talked about it whatsoever. But if the Bears, keep him out again the next practice, then I am going to be a little bit worried because Tevin Jenkins has had so many issues with staying healthy. This guy's a beast when he's actually on the football field, but sadly, he can't play a full season. So far at least he's not done that. I hope he can this year, and I'm rooting for him, but definitely not ideal that he went down with the injury today. And, our right guard Nate Davis also is not playing, so today the interior absolutely sucked. I mean, that's probably half the reason why the offense was so bad today, because we didn't have two of our best linemen on the football field in Tevin Jenkins and Nate Davis. Now, again, I'm not too worried at this point in time because it is only the first week of August, but if it's September and these guys are still out, then I'm hitting the panic button a little bit because we need this offensive line to be good for Justin Fields to break out as a passer, and it's not going to be without two of our best linemen on the football field. But that's it for the video, guys. I'll be back with another one on Friday. They're actually off tomorrow from practice, so no video tomorrow. I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos. Leave your comments down below. I love making these. It's going to be over in probably a week because I probably won't do any more reports after 13, 14 days because then it gets kind of repetitive. People stop watching at that point. Then we're more focused on the season starting. But have a good night, guys. As always, bear down.